welcome back to the second episode of My Lumbar Log. I am now, 8 days away from surgery. It's Sunday, and tomorrow I will have my 1 week prior appointment with a nurse at the hospital, St. Vincent's Hospital here, will all have my surgery. And so that is the next milestone along the way. Uh, COVID is really exploding nationwide, and Oregon is no exception to that. And it has been kind of a bit of a roller coaster here to know whether my surgery was even going to go forward and how it might be changed. In the last several days, that has come to light. Um, Surgeries at the hospital where I'm at are being reduced by 50%, and they're really trying to avoid any kind of surgeries that have an inpatient um, um, piece to them after the surgery. So we have decided to move forward with my surgery, and the plan will be to come home on Monday evening. So my wife is going to take the lead on being my nurse for the first few days, where I'll be really incapacitated coming out of the surgery. Normally, this is a surgery that has a one night stay. The expectation was that I might have a 2 night stay with some of the additional complications around my case and attaching to an existing fusion and that sort of thing. But the plan now is to have surgery on Monday the 7th and be home that night. Don't know the exact timing of that day, but it's definitely been an interesting process to get from where I was when this episode really started up to where I am today. Um, it was a challenge at first just to get in to see my primary care, with COVID restrictions and with just case log. It took a good 10 days or so just to be able to get an appointment, and that was a working appointment, to see my primary care the following day. From that, we did x-rays, and um, it became clear from the x-rays that there was definitely something going on with, in the way of spinal stenosis and things that you could see in the x-ray. And so he ordered an MRI. And there again, it took a week or so to get the insurance approvals and the scheduling and everything done for that. So from the MRI, um, it became apparent that I needed to be moving on to a specialist. And one of the ideas behind the MRI was to determine whether this was primarily a neurological or an orthopedic issue that we were going to be dealing with. And so out of the MRI, orthopedic was where we were headed, and I was referred to an orthopedic surgeon in the same building where my primary care is. Uh, with the help of some friends who know people in the industry and work in the industry, um, I was able to change from that doctor to Dr. Rafe Sales, who is considered one of the best and most preeminent sign people in the Pacific Northwest. And so very fortunate to get in with him. Um, had the MRIs forwarded over to him, and all of a sudden, instead of being 3 or 4 weeks until I would be able to see him on initial appointment, I was able to have a video appointment within just a couple of days. Um, so out of that video appointment, which was really informative, had a very good rapport with the doctor, and really felt like we were with the right person. Um, we decided to move on to epidural nerve block, and that was both a therapeutic and a diagnostic tool to determine, first off, if what he was seeing in the MRI, which was described in the video yesterday, and that full video is also available as an episode 0 on the channel, that a fusion would be a strong likelihood of having a positive outcome. And then also from a therapeutic standpoint, just that hopefully it would provide some relief, especially with my radiating pain and numbness down my legs. So again, took a little while for that to get approved through insurance and get scheduled and everything. And so, before long, several weeks have passed from when all this began. But had that test. That test was a little bit disheartening at first because I had a misconception that it was going to be kind of a magic bullet and would really make me feel a lot better right out of that. That wasn't what happened with me, but there was enough, both immediate relief and over the course of a week or so, to indicate that there was a very strong probability that the spinal fusion surgery was going to be the right way to go. So that led to a in-person appointment with Dr. Sales, and it was great to meet him in person. It was a challenging day for me because it's across town and a long car ride and things, so I was really glad my wife was with me to kind of help talk through the process and make the decision to go forward with the surgery. So from there, it was a matter of getting the insurance approvals and things for that as well, which again was a process. But it is a process that I think is the right thing to do. I was It took more convincing for me to decide surgery was the right thing than it did for those around me. My friends and family were kind of convinced from the beginning that this is where we were headed. But my experience with the spinal fusions is my past experience, and the technology and things were much, much different. The recovery process was a lot longer, and it was very much an ordeal that I wasn't looking forward to going through again. But the technology has come an awful long ways in the last 22 years, and being with Dr. Sales is a true blessing to be able to have somebody with his competence and authority in this area. So it was decided that the PLIF is the way to go. Going to fuse the L5 and S1 vertebrae, and that should really stabilize the whole lower portion of my spine. Should really eliminate all of the radiating issues down my legs, and give me a significant amount of relief for my back area itself. And then it's possible that we could do a nerve stimulator, an internal nerve stimulator down the line to help relieve some of the areas of pain from the upper areas of my fusion, if that is deemed necessary once I'm recovered from this surgery. It's amazing how the recovery process has changed. When it was described to me as an inpatient, that I would be up and walking the next day in the hospital, and potentially be able to go home after that first night, but more likely a 2-night stay for me, and then some time allowing it to heal at home for a week or so, and then up and starting to walk as the main therapy, and walking up to a mile a day in short bursts by 2 weeks out. So that's pretty amazing compared to what I've experienced in the past. Just a small brace that I will wear when I'm up and out of bed, don't have to wear it in bed, and from what I understand, the thought process at this point is about 4 weeks out, have a follow-up x-ray and a follow-up appointment with Dr. Sales. And if everything is going according to plan, be able to get approval to start going back to work at 4 weeks after the surgery, which is just phenomenal. So it's really great to see how things have changed, and I have an awful lot of confidence in Dr. Sales and his team, and think that this is definitely the right move for me. So that's where we are as of today, which is Sunday, 8 days before the surgery. I will have an update tomorrow after the pre-surgery appointment. After that, the next thing will be a COVID test late in the week, leading into surgery on the following Monday. I do have a couple of episodes planned in the middle there. One where I'm going to talk about some of the things that I have found that help provide me some relief and some comfort and some just ability to do some things that are might be helpful to you as well. I've had some trial and error, and some of the things that I've found that have really worked the best I want to be able to share with you. And certainly I want to talk a little bit about floating. Floating has just been a true game changer for me, so much so that I've started a website about floating and how it can help all sorts of people, including people with back issues that I suspect most anybody that's watching this is going to be in that category. So we'll definitely have an episode talking about that as well, and referring you over to Love the Float, which is my website and blog and vlog about floating and how it has helped me. So thank you for joining me for this second episode, and we'll see you again tomorrow.